Hi. Uh, Let me start with a joke. There used to be this one about needing four people to change a light bulb. One to hold the bulb, the other three to rotate him. It's supposed to be a lesson in inefficiency. But considering how wicked today's problems are, it may actually be smart to throw several people together so that they can collaborate to solve them. After all, bulbs and lighting solutions have got really complicated. And because it's not just about light anymore, you have to consider looks, size, cost saving, energy saving, mood creation, etc. etc. Our aspirations have grown exponentially, and so have the choices. One person alone may neither be efficient nor effective for the act of changing a light bulb today. And take climate change. So many interdependent variables and stakeholders are at play. No country can take an independent stand, and yet some insist on doing so. It's like being in a bus together but fighting to go to completely different destinations. Now, this has led to immense complexity, leading to the challenge becoming really wicked. Well, like we were just speaking about climate change. Now, we all want climate security on the one hand, but at the same time, we want to consume in the way we aspire to. Now, both are important to humanity, consumption and climate security. So it's like a paradox. Not only different sets of people have seemingly competing priorities, but also many times one person holds both the conflicting stories in their own belief system. These depths hidden in people's mind make these paradoxes very challenging. Also, the scale is immense now. How can we plumb the depths and change one by one the 8.2 billion human belief systems? Lastly, I think what makes our challenges really wicked is that the current model of human civilization has a special built in feature called inequality. Despite democracy, there is a huge asymmetry of power and resources, as you know. The most vulnerable in terms of geography and poverty will be worst and first hit by the climate change. Who wins, who loses, who decides, which levers to pull, and who to influence. So, how do we really tackle this growing darkness brought on by these four effing factors of increased complexity, depth, scale, and inequality? Can the single superhero like a Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, or Mahabali solve paradoxes like climate change? Or do we need a league of champions like X Men or the loose collective of freedom fighters that shaped India's freedom movement? But it's not all doom and gloom, because if we do find those four people to change this fused bulb of humanity, though it may be very inefficient to get them to agree together, it may be the best way out. Because collectivization has become, therefore, an imperative for civilization to find a way out of this growing darkness. We really need to move from me to we. Yeah, I mean, it's a good question because we have this Vartalip, a cross sectoral coalition of 150 organizations set up by Community the Youth Collective, where we are together trying to light the bulb of youth leadership across the country and solving some very wicked challenges and quite effectively. For example, during that COVID pandemic, Vartalip drew upon its cross sectoral members to do some great work towards tackling the ravages from that epidemic. We got the corporate members and funders to put some much needed resources, and these were rapidly conveyed to youth leaders, as many of the CSOs on the ground in the 20 states we work in, they were ready with their volunteers. They got them the oxygen, blood plasma, and awareness to patients and potential patients. In fact, youth leaders were the first to hit the ground during the lockdown, much before even the politicians had got their act together. So we also did innovative online programs like Togetherness Table and many others. They were developed to address the feelings and mental health of young people during the pandemic. Several member organizations worked with migrants to ameliorate the disruption and damage to livelihood and lives of the poor, and many other such initiatives. And in this way, the Vartalip coalition initiated by community could tackle that wicked challenge of that time by solving this complex, deep, and unequal and very huge scale of an issue that was, at least in the medium term. This collective campaign called Saath Nirbhar got many accolades, including one award by the World Economic Forum for best worldwide ground level response to COVID, the best 50 responses. In the end, I'd like to say is collectivization is just not a means to an end, but an end in itself. In many surveys after surveys, we got feedback that the best thing that this togetherness provides is the bonding and learning from each other and solidarity for leaders who are quite alone and working in very difficult circumstances. So, having heard me this far, and if you agree that collectivization is the needs of the times, I would like to ask people who might be watching me that what are you and your organization going to do to enlist more and more light bulb ecosystem changes into your space?